Evan Engram, a year after becoming a free agent without the franchise tag, signed a one-year deal in Jacksonville, bet on himself, and won, sort of. He got franchise tagged yesterday by the Jaguars. One-year deal worth $11.345 million. Set franchise record for receptions and receiving yards for tight end in 2022. 73 catches, 766 yards, 4 touchdowns. And now, Chris, like all the other guys who have been tagged, has until July 15 to do a multi-year deal. And we'll see how many of these guys do one-year deals or do long-term contracts before the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Engram is a guy that I would think you'd want to sign up long-term. I mean, he's still young and in his just hitting his prime. And, you know, again, good for Evan Engram because, Mike, he's that guy, right, we talk about. Like, yeah, he needed a fresh start, needed to get out of the New York area, right? It just became he had a few drops and some big moments, and Giants fans, the New York media couldn't get over it. Oh, he's a bust. Oh, he drops the ball in every big moment. Oh, well, now he's on the Jaguars, and he's one of the best tight ends in football. That's what he is. I mean, he's one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the game. He's a freak. He's a star. He's a stud. You know, so I would think that this is going to be a real effort because, again, I think Doug Peterson understands how valuable a tight end like that is for a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, let alone guys like Evan Engram that are built like that and can run like that. They don't grow on trees. He's special. He really is. And I'm glad to see him get it turned around, mentally tough, fighting through some of the things he had to deal with in New York. And he's in the perfect place right now to thrive and be a force for a long time here.
In Dallas, Tony Pollard, even though he suffered a broken ankle in their final game of the year, the postseason loss to the 49ers, he gets the tag 1 year, $10.1 million for running backs. It has dropped over the past several years, even though the cap keeps going up and up and up. It's based on percentage of the cap over a 5-year period that the top 5 highest paid players at the position consume. Bottom line, 10.1 is a pretty good deal when you consider the high end of the running back market. And for Pollard, you know, it's some security at a time when he may be wondering what was going to happen with me with this broken ankle. Still better to hit the open market, but he's getting an 8-figure payday. Probably never expected to get that kind of a salary in the NFL given where he was drafted, but he's done well. And now the question is it him and Ezekiel Elliott, or is it just Pollard? Because they got to figure out Zeke's contract too. They got a lot of money tied up and a lot of cap space tied up in 2 guys, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Right now, $27.6 million. 12% of the cap is on those 2 running backs.
Yeah, right. Well, Zeke's not going to be. I mean, that's going to be over, right? I mean, you know, to me, they've dropped the ball a little bit and given the Zeke the ball too many times over the last 2 years a little, right? I mean, but you know, this one to me, and I talked about this on my podcast a little yesterday, it was a no-brainer. I wondered whether or not if the broken ankle might, you know, cause an issue in this whole conversation. But, I mean, hey, when it's all said and done, why I look at it as a no-brainer is Tony Pollard's the most explosive player on the Cowboys offense. I don't think it's close. You know, CeeDee Lamb's a really good receiver. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but he's not the type of guy that catches a slant and runs for a 70-yard touchdown. Tony Pollard's that guy. Toss sweep, 80-yard touchdown. Catches a slant, 70-yard touchdown. Up the middle, you know, go rockets up your butt, 50-yard touchdown. He's a one-play guy. He's a home run hitter. That's why not only is he – and then he can play between the tackles. So he's got everything, and I think added on to that, Mike, and he's 25, and he's a young 25 because he's shared too many carries with Ezekiel Elliott. So – yeah, I think this was a no-brainer for sure. He's dangerous. He's one of the better running backs in all of football right now, so I think that's why you sign it too. I think if you make a top 5, top 10 running back list, Tony Pollard is probably in that top 5 or 6 for most people in football. And I think for those reasons, yeah, you do sign him up and you make sure he's on your football team. And Zeke Elliott, we'll see what happens there, but I expect him to be released and maybe re-signed at a low number.
And look, there's a carnival barker element to Jerry Jones, which creates confusion. He's always hyping his guys until the day he decides to move on from them, whether it's a coach, whether it's Terrell Owens, whether it's Ezekiel Elliott. He'll always say the positive thing, positive, and then we need to have a conversation. And then that's it, and he's gone.
Right.
So, you know, the reality is one of the activities at the scouting combine last week is Ezekiel Elliott's agents finding out what's behind door number 2, what's out there in the event that they say no to whatever restructured contract the Cowboys are offering. And if they say no and he gets cut, is there something better out there? Does he take less to stay in Dallas? You know the argument they used on him when he signed his contract, on Dak before he got his, there's value in being a Cowboy, and there is. The question now is, how much will the Cowboys pay versus how much would someone else pay? I think the Cowboys are probably going to offer him as much or more than anyone else. I think they want to continue that relationship too. And they'll get the restructured contract, save some money, create some cap space, and keep him around. It doesn't feel right to think of Ezekiel Elliott with any team other than the Cowboys, Chris.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's homegrown talent. You know, he's done a lot of great things for them and their organization. I'm with you. I think they really value him, not only the player but the person, right? You know, we've even heard that from Jason Garrett, and it seems like, you know, that Zeke Elliott is a guy that really loves the Cowboy organization too, to where, yeah, I'm kind of with you, Mike. I kind of envision, I don't think the market's going to be that good for him. I think Jerry Jones in Dallas maybe give him a sweetener on the contract that maybe most teams that won't, and they can kind of, you know, continue their relationship, and he can, you know, end his career as a Dallas Cowboy and, you know, again, not be the guy that's getting the bulk of the carries. 3rd and 1. Hey, it's 2nd and goal from the 2. Hey, Zeke, go in there, punch it in for us for a touchdown. You're a great short yardage runner, right? But, yeah, as far as him being the focal point number 1 guy, no, that's gone. And again, like we said, Tony Pollard, as we said a lot of times last year, he's pretty damn special. You know, 6 foot, over 200 pounds, catches the ball like that, can run like that, you know, tough running and big play running. He's one of the best in the game, so I'm not shocked to see them do this.
Last one, not a surprise. Josh Jacobs, franchise tagged by the Raiders, another 1-year deal at $10.1 million for the running back position. We spoke to him at the Super Bowl. We spoke to Josh McDaniels, the head coach, last week at the scouting combine. And Jacobs' point was, hey, I'm fine with the tag if you're going to spend money to put a good team around me. And if you want me to be the hero, you got to pay me like the hero. I think he wants that long-term deal if he's going to be the focal point of the offense. And until they figure out their quarterback position, Chris, I think he will be.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, again, it's an offensive line that can run the football. Josh McDaniels, I think, wants to run that type of offense and have that balance there. We see their ability to throw off a play action and get Waller and Devontae Adams open is damn good, right? Now, it's about finding that sweet spot here as far as, you know, what makes sense. Again, no-brainer to franchise him. You don't let that guy walk out the door. I mean, he like we were talking about with Tony Pollard, it's the same conversation. It's top 2, 3, 4, 5 running back in football, if not number 1 or 2 with Nick Chubb right now. So, yeah, they're not going to let that happen, but it does have more wear and tear on his tires than a Tony Pollard. And he is more of a car crash runner than a Tony Pollard. So those are the things they're going to have to hash out to figure out, you know, something that makes sense as far as a long-term deal.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.